Hello, and welcome to the Daily Space for today, Wednesday, July 1st, 2020. I am your host, Annie Wilson. Most Mondays through Fridays, our team will be here putting science into your brain. Usually Wednesdays are for Rocket Roundup, and we had one rocket launch this week. One. So, let's get to it, shall we? Our one and only launch of the week was yesterday, June 30th, with a brand new SpaceX Falcon 9 booster carrying the latest addition to the GPS constellation from Cape Canaveral at 8:10 p.m. UTC. The payload was the GPS-3 Space Vehicle 3, a satellite for, GPS. That thing that helps us to get from point A to point B without having to know how to read a map. It is the third in the third generation of GPS satellites to be launched and joins a constellation of 31 other GPS satellites in a semi-synchronous medium Earth orbit, orbiting the Earth twice a day. Its mass is approximately 4,311 kilograms. For Americans, that's about 2,156 2-liter soda bottles. Nearly half of that mass was fuel to raise the satellite to its final orbit. According to the Air Force fact sheet, this satellite broadcasts signals compatible with Europe's Galileo and Japan's QZSS, both of which are also global navigation satellite systems. The first stage used on SpaceX's previous GPS launch, not this GPS launch, but the previous one, was not recovered because the military had insufficient data at the time to ensure the primary mission success, which is getting the satellite to orbit. This time, however, the military agreed to lower the bottom end of the transfer orbit so the first stage could save enough fuel to attempt a landing. In exchange, SpaceX gave them an undisclosed price break on the estimated $96 million launch contract. The first stage indeed landed safely on SpaceX's drone ship, Just Read the Instructions, and is currently headed back to port. For those of you keeping score at home, the fairings were recovered from the ocean. There was no catch attempt because the correct equipment was not installed on the drone ships. And because we only had the one launch, we have lots of video for you. Reminder, rocket launches are loud. Please lower your volume or remove your headset. You can see the LOX venting.
15 seconds.
It is not smoke, that is indeed
10,
like water vapor.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff. Go Falcon, go GPS.
Vehicle is pushing down range. Heat chamber pressure down.
All right, so that was the launch, and we also have the landing because, of course, we do.
Drone ship, AOS. Stage 1 landing burn is starting.
Ignition of that center Merlin engine on the first stage.
Seco 1.
Successful confirmation of shutdown of the Merlin vacuum engine. The guidance engineer is evaluating the orbit of the second stage now.
Nominal parking orbit.
Nominal parking orbit,
Landing
that's
legs
exactly what we want to
deployed.
hear. Landing leg deployment looks like right down the center.
And
Looks
stage
like
1
a
is
successful
landed.
landing.
Recovery operators move into
I see
procedure
a first
11.100
stage.
on
Excellent.
UCF9.
So that, we first flew Falcon 9 10 years ago, actually this month. Since then, it's completed 88 missions, is now the most flown operational rocket in the United States. This mission completed its first landing, and hopefully we'll have many more to come.
Correction, 87. He was a little excited about everything. And here is the payload separation.
Payload separation confirmed.
And successful confirmation of the spacecraft continuing on to perform its mission. From here, the satellite will undergo some activation checks and perform burns to raise into a circular orbit about 20,200 kilometers above the Earth's surface. And with that, that's actually going to complete our primary mission. Now, another note, if you were watching our webcast earlier, we accomplished another recovery objective today, and that is successful securing of both the fairing halves that we jettisoned early on in the mission. So we'll have those for use on a future mission. And that's going to bring our webcast coverage to a close.
Great view looking at the GPS satellite moving away from the Falcon 9 second stage. We want to thank the United States Space Force for entrusting us with today's GPS-3 Space Vehicle 3 mission, and we also want to thank the satellite manufacturer, Lockheed Martin. SpaceX is one of 2 certified providers for national security space launch missions, and we're proud to be able to offer reliable, cost-effective launch services to the U.S. Space Force. We look forward to the additional GPS missions we will be supporting in the future. I also want to give out a special thanks to the 45th Space Wing for the range support out of the Eastern Range today. And finally, with this last view, watching GPS-3, satellite number 3, drifting away in the distance, we want to thank all of you, our viewers, for tuning in, and have a good day.
All right, to wrap things up, here's a running tally of a few spaceflight statistics for the current year. There are currently 4 toilets in orbit. We have burned up 2 toilets in the atmosphere. Humanity has put 546 new satellites into space so far this year. 530 of those satellites were directly from launches. Total launch attempts for the year so far is 46, including 5 failures. I keep track of orbital launches by where they launched from, also known as spaceport. Here's that breakdown. USA 16, China 15, Kazakhstan 4, Russia 3, French Guiana 2, Japan 2, New Zealand 2, Iran 2. And your useless space fact for the week comes to us from Kerbal01. Russia tried to launch a 90-ton space laser battle station in 1987, but it failed to reach orbit due to an error in the guidance system, making it flip 360 degrees instead of 180. That rounds out our show for today. Thank you all for listening. I have been your host, Annie Wilson. Today's script was written and edited by Dave Bullard, Ali Pelfrey, and myself. Our web content will be produced by Beth Johnson. Our executive producer and fearless leader is Dr. Pamela Gay. The Daily Space is a product of the Planetary Science Institute, a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to exploring our solar system and beyond. We are here thanks to the generous contributions of people just like you. The best way you can support us is through Patreon at patreon.com/CosmoQuestX. Like us, please share us. You never know whose life you can change by adding a daily dose of science.